Serious question.
Come on.
What is your Chipotle order? What is your go-to?
I like to order a burrito bowl with white rice, black beans.
Is this Australian?
I don't know. It's getting really messed up right now.
I like it.
Hey. No, that's Scottish.
The burrito laddie.
Hey, the burrito laddie. Oh, pinto beans. Sauteed vegetables.
You sound like a hobbit now.
Aye. But they're from New Zealand. I'm so confused. Half steak, half beef, lettuce, cheese.
Spicy salsa or
I'm
mild?
hungry now.
No, just pico de gallo, man.
Okay.
Just keep it mild.
All right.
Yeah,
Pico's good though.
Yeah.
Solid.
Pico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's
I
it.
had Chipotle yesterday. It's pretty sweet.
you really?
Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problems after.
There you go.
Sometimes
Oh,
I
that's
do.
so
I know what
great.
you mean.
It just depends on which
I know
Chipotle you
it's
go
like
to.
you kind of roll the dice
Yeah.
anytime you get Chipotle.
It's the little things in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you can
Came
make
out
it
on
through
top.
those things.
Yeah.
It's a good day when you Chipotle don't have any issue.
That should be the title of this podcast.
We probably get some extra people.
We
though,
probably
'cause
would.
It's something everyone can relate to. You know what
Everybody.
I mean, I've never met someone that said I don't like Chipotle, or I've never had an issue afterwards.
Yeah.
So
It's a win-win.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So purity.
Purity of food, purity of heart.
Yes.
You are what you eat. All right, so we thought lust would be a great topic to talk about, purity in general, something that Paul's well versed in with his talks. We that he's really good at speaking about. So a lot of people today in 2022, and honestly, even the last few generations, I'll even say, they say that like purity is not that important of a thing. It's kind of fallen out of style. But it's something that a lot of people struggle with. So how can you win this battle if people are saying it's not important? So why is purity so important in your guys' minds, you know?
I think it's very important because it kind of bleeds into whatever vocation you choose. Whether you're a priest and you can't date anyone and you have to live the virtue of chastity. Obviously, all people live chastity. There's a word I'm looking for. That priests live 3 evangelical councils.
Poverty, chastity, and obedience.
Chastity and obedience.
That's the ones in religious orders.
Okay, yeah. So whether you become a priest or married, like purity is huge. You know, like it can ruin either one of those vocations. So it's something that like needs to be tied down while you're single.
I think so too. I think it really. We're talking about the dignity of each human being. We were talking just before about the importance of making people seen, and I think it was John Paul II going off of what Paul said about John Paul, who wrote so much about purity, theology of the body, and things like that. He said that the opposite of loving someone isn't hating them necessarily, because at least if you hate them, you're recognizing that they have the capacity to hurt you. Like they're a person, at least they're somebody. He said it's using somebody.
Yeah, there's a quote. I think it's love people, use things.
Right.
Might have been St. Thomas Aquinas. And sin happens when you flip those.
Yeah.
When you love things and use people.
It's him or St. Augustine, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Either one's a good choice.
So, Paul, you have a talk that's dedicated to overcoming purity issues, right? Of chastity and stuff like that. So why did you decide to put that on your your arsenal of talk, as you say?
I like it.
Big,
kind of a reservoir.
tank of talks.
Yeah, big tank, right, exactly.
Well, yeah, I think it's certainly a hot topic. It's a topic that is relevant to the youth, but as you mentioned, it's relevant to frankly anyone in any vocation, right? Chastity, what is chastity? It's not a physical accessory belt that you strap around your torso so as to prevent any problems, but it's more of a spiritual disposition, right? And like you said, you talked about St. John Paul, and that was from Love and Responsibility, which was his book on sexual ethics. But the whole point of that, the crux of that book is, at the end of the day, everyone deserves to be loved. And love is willing the good of the other, whereas lust is using the other. And when we objectify someone, we essentially strip away, no pun intended, you strip away their dignity, right? Blessed are the pure of heart, they shall see God. That's why it's important. Because if we don't have that sense of purity, then we're not going to see God in this life, and we're not going to see him in the next life. And that's heavy, right? The challenge, of course, is that, that is not a virtue that is celebrated in our culture, right? There's some times where I'm just kind of browsing and I'm on Instagram and I hit the search bar. And holy smokes, I've never seen so much flesh just offered to me when I'm not even asking for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's literally in my face. And I can't, it's almost dangerous for me to hit that bar sometimes because it's like, I scroll and I'm like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What? Does she know she's like naked? Like, did she just stumble out of bed and she forgot? You know,
Right.
and guys and girls, I mean, obviously, like, it's not a problem for me to look at a guy, and a lot of fitness guys or whatever, but I would imagine for girls too, it's also like a temptation. It's an occasion of sin at times. So how does one stay pure? Sheesh. There's a story. It's a funny story where a young monk goes to an older, wiser monk and says, "Father, when do the temptations to purity stop?" And the older monk thinks about it for a second, and he says, 3 days after you're dead. Right?
3 days after.
So, the propensity for all of us to lust is so powerful, like that fallen feature, that truly it's something that requires all of us to be vigilant.